Hey everyone, thank you for joining Digital Minds webinar today on which factor are you, one or two. A little housekeeping up front. The presentation should last around 20 minutes with 10 minutes for questions at the end. There's a chat feature in your lower right hand corner and I'll be monitoring questions throughout. We want this webinar to be informative and interactive. All attendees are in listen-only mode, and this webinar is being recorded and will be uploaded to our YouTube channel at a later date. A little about myself. My name is Jordan Nip. I'm the marketing manager for Digital Minds, so I'm the one sending you the emails and such, just a face to a name if you haven't met me. And with that, I will pass it on to Michael Bush, the managing partner of Digital Minds for the last 19 years, which most of you all should know. So take it away.
Thank you, Jordan. As always, we value everyone's time who's attending today and really appreciate it. And as always, these webinars are meant to be short and to the point, informative, and trying to value your time to give you a tidbit of knowledge that you might want to think about in your office and in your company and see if it might be of value to you. And just say, are we doing these things to improve our company or looking at those? So with that, we'll get started. And today's title is which factor are you, one or two? And that basically is kind of a lead in to let's talk about breaches and logins. And so that's meant to look at how you're logging in and with just a single password, or are you using two-factor authentication? So with that, this is a 2016 Verizon data breach investigation report. Kind of a bold statement here. It says no locale, industry, or organization is bulletproof when it comes to breach of data. It's kind of humbling. So it's really, what we tell clients is it's really about layering security that matters. So you have multiple layers of security. So if you do have a breach or failure of one security layer, you have a secondary one to be able to help with that, and at least to identify there's a possible anomaly going on or something going on in the system that you need to look at. So with passwords, and everybody, I'm sure everybody's got their one password that they use to log across all their systems, and of course they've had it since for the last 10 or 15 years, and because everybody's kind of set in their ways. And as last month during our social engineering, Steve Fox, one of our security forensics partners, was kind of demonstrating on how changing your password is important, because if I get a previous one, and you could potentially try that amongst various technologies that you connect to. So you really need to have a different password per se for different, at least on mission critical systems. There's one way to do that, and we can help you with a password process, an algorithm. We've come up with one, and our clients find it very easy to use. And then there's one way we can put those in a secure system that can actually auto-fill it in for you, or make that so it changes automatically for you. So having that password is one thing, but let's say you are diligent and you change it, and then you just happen to be a place and someone grabs it and gets that from you. So at that point in time, you're vulnerable. So one thing we can do is add in what they call two-factor authentication. And so what is two-factor authentication? Basically, it kind of what it implies, it implies a second authentication beyond the user's password. It could be, a PIN number, a password, a zip code, or something like an eight. You kind of doing these things, and biometrics. If you were to walk up to a security door in your office and they have biometric fingerprints, that's a secondary two-factor authentication. You could have a key card and do the same thing with a key punch, with keying your code. So it takes the card and that code to get in to access that room. So that's kind of what we're talking about. We have one method to identify the user and then a second method to confirm the user. And so with two-factor authentication, it can kind of be shortened to 2FA. That's to make it simple. It's kind of two-factor authentication is a lot longer. So 2FA is kind of a shorter way of doing it. And the thing about it is you've been using two-factor for quite some time. When you go to a gas pump and you swipe your credit card through, and it comes back and says, "What's your zip code?" And so if that card happened to be stolen, and in most cases that user may or may not know your specific zip code. Also credit cards can, when you go to use them, they'll actually text you an SMS code which you have to authenticate back to the credit card company to say, yeah, I approve this purchase. And your normal password recovery for your email system is very similar to that. So we kind of talked about it, but again, why 2FA is, if your logins are compromised, this is just an extra security layer, as the name states, and it's just 2 steps. And so a hacker would actually need a device in which that two-factor authentication is being applied to, or where you're confirming it from. So just kind of what they call an out-of-band authentication would be, so the hacker were to grab your password here in this little graphic and it tries to log in, and they try various things, you're going to get a notification either on your mobile phone or a little token or key fob that you have requesting a code, and with that, without having that information, that hacker can't log in, or you approving it on your phone. As we mentioned, there's these hardware tokens which you can actually carry with you on your keychain or in your purse or in your pocket in one way, or you can actually have an application that goes on your phone. You can actually have the system call you and give you codes, and then also SMS or email you various things too. So again, just reiterating, why would you want to do 2FA or two-factor authentication? And just with some of the recent numbers here, this is a 2016 IBM cost of data breach study. It's really kind of staggering here. And the average cost of a data breach, and this is a global study, by the way, is $4 million. The average cost per stolen record is $158. So, SQL Server databases, where databases are being stored, you could have 1 million records in there easily for historical data if that were all. So you can start doing the math there. This can get very expensive based on how much data is stolen. And we've heard about this little company here a few years back that had a credit card breach, and were able to get into their system to grab data. So in 2012, their pre-breach revenues were $961 million. After that, their post-breach in 2013, they had a 42% reduction in revenues and profits. So it's so these things can be impactful to your business. And all this kind of starts in various ways of these people kind of knocking on your door. And we talked about last month in some previous webinars about social engineering as far as doing phishing, getting emails in, and they basically impersonate like a PayPal, or this is an Apple if you're running a Mac, or Windows from Microsoft, saying, hey, you need to reset this password, you need to click on this, you need to download these various things. So, basically 44% of phishing emails are trying to impersonate your IT team. So, so this is, so those are things to be considered. So having the two-factor authentication in there, if for some reason you were to give your password out to this, that they're going to be stopped at that point in time. They can't go really any further until you would have to authenticate that through the two-factor authentication. We also talked about in February webinar about ransomware. So if someone were to get into your network through getting your password and everything, a very common thing is to encrypt your drive and your data for you and then hold you hostage. They have hospitals that had to pay $17,000 to get patient information back, had patients on the operating table, and you need to get that data back. So these are some all this stuff kind of compounds itself, so you need to be aware of those things. So one of the things that we've come up with is our solution here is the DMI Duo two-factor authentication, or 2FA, and it is and one of the things, the objective is to we want it to be state-of-the-art, very secure, very easy to use from an end user standpoint, and cost effective. And so that's one of the things we really set out. Those are the three goals of what we did. And so with this, you basically go to log in, and it's going to prompt you either for your code, or you can actually have the system push a notification to you, and you just click on the checkbox and say, yeah, that's me, I'm good, and you can securely log in. And again, our solution is going to be able to allow you to get push notifications if you have the agent on your mobile phone. You can get text messages. You can also get the codes that you can type in. You can have a token or key fob that you carry with you, or we can have the system give you a call. So we have a lot of options there. The most popular, and what most people are going to use, is on their mobile phone with either they key in the code or they do the push notification. So I just want to kind of show you the DMI Duo 2FA in action here. It is as simple as when we sign users up, they get a notification in like this over here, and they simply click on the link, and it will walk them through a series of, again, confirming that this is Digital Minds International doing this. And obviously, before we do this, we let all the employees know this is going to happen beforehand. They're all aware of this. They see this. They know what to expect on the screens and everything. So there's no phishing per se or spoofing of information. And we get this all installed, and they authenticate that this is on their phone. So then they go to get ready to log in. It's something like this, as simple as going to, when they type in their password, after they type in their password, they're going to get a little notification here. Well, what's really cool about this is you can either use the app to click on it and give 6-digit numbers that you can type in here, or you can just type in the word push. And if you type in the word push, and so here's what would be the numbers that you want to type in. If you type in the word push, you're actually going to get a notification on your phone that you simply just click on approve, and bam, you're right in. It is absolutely that simple. So it is. We're very pleased with this. We can roll it out very simply. and I think you'll be really impressed on the cost of this. And so we would love to hear from you. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jordan, and here she is.
All right, thank you everyone. So if you'd like more information on this, you can contact us at the email sales@dmisys.com, or you can call the office, and we would love to set you up with this, talk to you more about it. It's really critical with the way viruses and malware and ransomware are coming about trying to take your data hostage. So this is just a great way to protect yourself. And everyone that joined us today will be getting a $5 Starbucks gift card in your inbox. A lot of times that goes to your spam folder, so be sure to check there if you don't get it. And it doesn't look like we have any questions right here, but feel free to email me or Michael. And we really appreciate you for taking the time to attend our webinar. A short survey will pop up following this presentation, and we really like to take your feedback and use it. So please fill it out, and we like to take it seriously. So thank you all for attending once again, and we hope you'll join us next month.